Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of my Just Seen series. This episode is a very special series because it will be focused on an animated movie rather than on a whole animated series. The movie that I've just seen is called Your Name. This is a critically acclaimed anime in Japan, and it is one of the highest grossing animated films of all time. It actually is the highest grossing anime style film of all time, surpassing Spirited Away. This movie was released in August of 2016 in theaters in Japan, and it grossed over $300 million, so you can definitely see how popular it was. I personally am a huge fan of the movie, and I really enjoyed it. There are so many different things about it that I liked, and I'm definitely going to go into detail about that. This anime follows two characters, one named Mitsuha and one named Taki. Mitsuha is a girl who lives in a small mountain village called Itomori. Itomori is a fictional place, but it is based on realistic places. And Taki is a high school boy who lives in Tokyo. One day, Mitsuha wishes that she was a high school boy, or a handsome boy actually, who lived in Tokyo. And the next morning when she wakes up, she has been transported and she now lives in Taki's body, and Taki is now in her body. The anime progresses, and each day they kind of switch bodies back and forth, learning new things about each other, making up new rules for what people can and can't do, and interacting with their environments as the other person. Obviously, their friends are noticing, differences in their personalities and differences in what they do, and they definitely use that to really build each character, because not only can you see the character being built when they're playing themselves, but also their different nuances compared to the other person that they're in the body of. So I definitely enjoyed that character development. There are a couple of side characters named Tessie and Sayura, and they are friends of Mitsuha. And then there's also some friends of Taki, but you're not really introduced to them too much. They're kind of just around, and they're just kind of to show the contrast for Mitsuha being in Taki's body. Mitsuha also, they kind of get off at each other for not having, significant others, and Mitsuha attempts to set up a relationship for Taki in Taki's body. And it does not end up working out too well because you know how different they are when they're in each other's bodies. So it's just a little bit of comedy there, and definitely really enjoyable. The anime itself is one of the most beautiful, breathtaking movies I've ever seen. The animation quality is absolutely brilliant. All of the photos that you're seeing here are all taken directly from stills from the anime itself, or from the the actual poster itself for the anime. It's just breathtaking quality. There are so many panoramic shots that are just absolutely amazing. The animation in 1080p was stunning. It was perfectly cut. It was perfect use of colors, very bright, very vivid. The soundtrack is a perfect backing to it. There's so many different shots where it just kind of pans around this, backdrop of a city or backdrop of this mountain town with the horizon, and there's clouds, and there's an underlying theme of this comet that's got this beautiful tail on it, as you can see below, and it's just absolutely amazing what they were able to do with the animation on the budget that they had. Now, I know that the production company did say that there were things that they wish they could have done more, but I think they did an absolutely spectacular job, and, I don't really think they left much to be desired. Maybe they left it for themselves, and we're always going to be wondering what could have been, but what they did, I'm not disappointed. I don't think anyone was disappointed. This anime garnered a 97 on Rotten Tomatoes and a 7.9 on Metacritic, and it's the highest grossing anime movie of all time, so, who are we to judge? Now, one thing I really liked about this anime was the fact that they showed contrast between living in the city and how people reacted to living in the city versus living in this small mountain town. The finale of the movie itself is one of the most emotionally, heart-wrenching things I've ever seen, and it definitely moved me. It was beautiful, it was sad, it was happy all at the same time. I shed a couple of tears at the end of it when I was watching it, because I was just... They built it up so well, and at the end of it, you don't really know what's going to happen, and you don't know if they're gonna succeed in what they wanted, or if they are going to succeed but pay a price. If they have to give up something in order to follow through at the end. There's definitely some mystery, and there's definitely a little bit of a thriller aspect at the end of it. If you've seen the cabin on the lake, the house on the lake, or I think it's the cabin on the lake, where they kind of exchange letters through this mailbox to talk to each other, but there was a time skip. It's got some very similar undertones to that movie as well, if you've ever seen it, with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. Now, the soundtrack I want to touch on as well, because there's a mixture of, classical undertones and some rock overtones. It kind of gives you the difference between, the quiet mountain town and, the bustling metropolis that is Tokyo. So I really enjoyed the contrast between that and the ending of the movie with the ending song playing over the, you know, the comet descending. It's just absolutely beautiful. I don't want to spoil too much for you guys. Hopefully I haven't. You know, I really think that you should all check out this movie. I personally got to give it a 9 out of 10. It was absolutely amazing. I haven't felt emotionally like attached to a movie, or like, you know, since I can't say when. You know, it was amazing. And in the hour and a half that I watched this, you know, I was more engaged than some other shows that I've watched, you know, for 2 and 3 weeks. You know, I actually felt emotionally engaged and I couldn't look away. The good thing about this movie is the fact that it does pull you in, because if you're not paying attention, there's definitely some things that you can miss. And that's one thing I don't like about it, is that there's some parts of it that are, you know, if you blink, you'll miss it. And they are important plot points, I think. There's especially a part at the end where you're like, oh, whoa, how'd they get here? So if you're not paying attention, you definitely need to know. Like, if you're watching attentively, you'll know what's going on. But if you look away for a second, or you're cooking dinner at the same time, or texting somebody, you might miss it. So it's something you really have to kind of dedicate your attention to with no interruptions. If you like the video and you want to see more content, definitely hit a like on the video and subscribe to my channel. There's going to be lots more stuff coming out. I highly recommend you go watch this movie. It was really, really good. I have no complaints about it. Until next time, thanks for tuning in.